When news first broke that Allison Transmission officially walked away from General Motors, the truck world immediately lit up with rumors. Some said GM wanted cheaper parts. Others claimed Allison was shifting fully toward electric commercial tech. A few even suggested GM didn't need Allison anymore, thanks to in-house designs. But the truth is far more complex and far more important for the future of heavy-duty trucks than most people realize. In this detailed breakdown, we'll explore why Allison cut ties with GM, how GM responded, the engineering consequences, what industry experts really think, and how this split is already reshaping the heavy-duty pickup landscape. A legendary partnership comes to an end. For decades, GM plus Allison was one of the most iconic combinations in the heavy-duty truck world. Just hearing the phrase Duramax with Allison was enough to make Ford and Ram owners grind their teeth. The Allison 1000 series became legendary for almost bulletproof reliability, strong torque handling, smooth, predictable shifts under heavy loads, incredible heat management for towing. From construction sites to oil fields, people trusted the Allison name far more than GM's own. So when Allison decided to step away from GM's pickup truck lineup, it wasn't just a business change. It marked the end of a dominant era. What triggered the breakup? Inside the real reasons. After digging through industry reports, supplier statements, and expert interviews, the breakup comes down to four main factors. Reason 1. GM wanted total control of powertrains. In the last decade, Ford and Ram invested heavily in controlling their entire powertrain ecosystem. Ford designed its own torque shift transmissions. Ram partnered but maintained strict integration with ZF and Allison. GM, meanwhile, relied on Allison branding for its HD trucks. An automotive drivetrain engineer explained it simply. GM didn't want to rely on an outside brand to give their heavy-duty trucks credibility. They wanted the powertrain narrative to be 100% GM. This was the beginning of GM quietly moving away from true Allison-built components years before the official separation was confirmed. Reason 2. Allison is shifting toward commercial electric powertrains. Allison's revenue today comes overwhelmingly from commercial buses, military equipment, fire trucks, construction machinery, EV propulsion systems. Pickup truck transmissions, especially consumer models, made up a very small portion of Allison's future strategy. One industry insider said, Allison wants to be the global leader in electric commercial propulsion. Light-duty pickup transmissions don't fit that future. This aligns with Allison's major investments in hybrid electric drive systems, electric axles, heavy EV drivetrain modules, zero-emission fleet solutions. Simply put, the pickup world didn't fit Allison's long-term business model. Reason 3. GM's Allison wasn't really Allison anymore. This is the part most truck owners still don't realize. Starting with the 2020 plus heavy-duty models, the so-called Allison 10-speed wasn't actually built by Allison. GM engineers built it. GM factories assembled it. Allison only licensed the name. A GM technical consultant admitted anonymously, it was an Allison in name only. GM designed that 10-speed from the ground up. With GM already building its own transmissions, paying Allison licensing fees no longer made sense. Reason 4. Cost pressures in the EV era. GM is pumping billions into EV development. Ultium batteries, electric Silverado, electric commercial vans, new electric platforms. Cutting outside suppliers is one of the easiest ways to reduce manufacturing costs. Eliminating royalty fees to Allison was a strategic move. A financial analyst put it bluntly, this was about cost structure. GM wants leaner overhead while ramping up its EV transformation. How Allison pulled the plug. What surprised many people was that Allison publicly stepped away, rather than GM. This was a subtle but powerful message. Allison wanted to make it clear, they are not responsible for current GM transmission issues. They are not affiliated with GM's 10-speed failures, shuttering, or programming problems. They do not want their reputation tied to anything GM built. A corporate representative from Allison hinted at this during a commercial fleet conference. We want customers to understand the difference between authentic Allison engineering and other products using the name. Translation: we're out. Please stop blaming us for GM's problems. What GM is doing now, the in-house powertrain push. After the separation, GM went full speed ahead on their global 10-speed transmission architecture. This design is shared across Silverado HD, Sierra HD, some Cadillac models, certain SUVs, the 1500 lineup with different tuning. GM's goal is clear: reduce outside suppliers, improve internal manufacturing, control torque mapping, unify shift logic across platforms. But experts warn this approach carries risk. A veteran powertrain engineer explained, "Allison's durability standards are brutal. GM's in-house transmissions are good, but they are not Allison-level good." This is where the concerns begin. How the split impacts GM truck reliability. Here's what experts are noticing already. 1. Heat management isn't as robust as Allison's original designs. Allison transmissions were famous for oversized coolers, strong thermal control, built-in limp protection. The GM in-house 10-speed uses lighter components and more complex electronic management. Under heavy loads, this could lead to higher temps, quicker fluid breakdown, slipping under extreme heat, long-term wear issues. 2. Programming complexity has increased. More gears, more opportunities for problems. Owners have already reported shift hesitation, gear hunting, occasional harsh downshifts, calibration updates needed. Allison systems rarely needed such revisions. 3. Torque handling is good but not legendary. GM's 10-speed is rated well, but experts note clutch pack surface area is smaller than Allison's old 1000 series. Torque converters are lighter, planetary gears have different metallurgy standards. This doesn't mean it's weak, just not at the previous benchmark. What this means for the future? Expert predictions. Prediction 1. GM will keep pushing internal transmissions. GM is committed, they're not going back. Costs are too high and they want complete control. Prediction 2. Allison will dominate electric commercial fleets. Allison has already partnered with major bus manufacturers, global military fleets, EV chassis companies, hybrid municipal providers. This shift will make Allison incredibly profitable. Prediction 3. The Allison versus torque shift versus ASIN. Wars are over since GM no longer uses real Allison units. The heavy-duty battle now focuses on Ford's torque shift, Ram's ASIN, still a real ASIN. Many experts believe Ford now has the most trustworthy HD transmission on the market. Prediction 4. Consumers will become more aware of branding tricks. Truck buyers feel misled. Many didn't know the new Allison-branded 10-speed wasn't real. This will push the industry to be more transparent. Prediction 5. GM may need to reinforce the 10-speed. If towing complaints continue, GM may need updated software, stronger torque converters, improved oiling circuits, upgraded friction materials. Time will tell. So, who really walked away? Officially, Allison walked away from GM. Unofficially, the relationship had been dying since 2020. Allison had no interest in consumer pickups anymore. GM didn't want to pay for the name. Both companies had different futures planned. The split simply made sense. But from a truck owner's perspective, the real loss is the end of an era where GM's heavy-duty trucks proudly carried the Allison legacy, an era that helped GM build trust and win buyers who towed for a living. As one truck tech put it, GM lost the credibility, Allison lost nothing. Final expert verdict. Allison's decision is not a scandal, it's not a fight, it's not a collapse. It's a strategic pivot, one that leaves GM to stand on its own engineering reputation without the safety net of a legendary transmission partner. And while GM's future transmissions will likely be fine, experts agree. The Allison era was special, and heavy-duty trucks may never see that same level of overbuilt durability again.